guys, welcome to my monthly reset video. Earlier this month I uploaded my first reset video. It was all about resetting for January, and in that video I asked you guys if you wanted to see these videos as a new series on my channel, and a lot of you guys enjoyed that idea. So here we are back at it with another reset video. I cannot believe that February is only a few days away. January, don't know where she went, but she is about to leave, and February is about to barge in. But before we dive into resetting for February, we do need to look at January, see how I did with my goals, my budgeting, which, newsflash, didn't do that great, and just overall how I felt during the month of January, and be open and honest with you guys how I started off the new year. It is also currently 4:34 on Saturday. I never start filming this late in the day. I always film my videos early in the morning so then I can edit for the rest of the day. But we are starting late because I had a bunch of errands to run today. I want to get this video up in time for February, and I am racing against the clock. The sunset is supposed to happen around 6 o'clock. I hope I can finish this video, wrap up everything that I need before the sun goes down, or else the quality of this video is going to be crap filming at night. So since I'm racing against the clock, we are just going to jump right in. If I'm being honest, the month of January for me was pretty meh. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great either. I don't really know how I feel about her. Like, she was cute, nothing fantastic happened, but nothing terrible happened. I just lived, which honestly it's a blessing in itself. For the first few weeks of January, I honestly felt like I was in a creative slump. I kind of got out of that slump towards the middle end of January, and I think that's why it's kind of meh for me. I am excited for February. I freaking love February. I love Valentine's Day, and I know that a lot of people don't like Valentine's Day because they think it's just another holiday for big corporations to take advantage of. But I actually like it. I actually met my husband the day before Valentine's Day, so it's special in that regard. But it's also special because my niece's birthday is on Valentine's Day. She's a Valentine's Day baby, so of course that holiday is always going to be special for my family. And I just like how short February is, if I'm being honest. If you guys watched my January reset video, then you would know my overall 2022 goals. If you don't know my 2022 goals, definitely check out my video that I filmed back in December explaining my 2022 goals. But I always break down those big 2022 goals into smaller and more feasible goals for every month. So for my January goals, I did put them into different categories. The categories being personal, health and fitness, finance, and social media. So I'm just going to go down the line and let you guys know if I accomplished it or not. So for personal, we are looking at different neighborhoods in new towns within Florida to figure out where we will want to buy or build a house. We did do that, so that can be checked off. We are learning the basics of buying and building a house. We can check that off. I'm reading one book this month. Guys, I actually read 4 books, which I'm super excited because my goal was to only read one. And I will be sharing the books that I read in a minute. I just want to finish going over my goals. But I'm super happy because last year I feel like I read 3 books. And it's January and I already read 4. So I'm quite proud of myself. You may have read like 10, but that's okay. 4 is a lot for me. I am taking driving lessons. Boy, do I have a story for you guys. As many of you guys know, my husband and I don't have our driver's license. If you don't know, hi, we don't have our driver's license. We're from Boston. No need living in the city. But one of our couple goals for this year is to get our driver's license and maybe get a car. We actually paid for driving lessons from a DMV approved school for my husband. He actually took the road test with the driving school passed, which we were super excited about. Then he went to the DMV, was about to get his license handed to him when a pop-up screen came up saying that he was randomly selected to retake his road test directly with the DMV. Apparently that's a law in Florida. Anyone who takes a test with a driving school, even if the driving school is approved by the DMV, they can still be randomly selected to retake the exam directly with the DMV. That's what happened. And we were so unlucky because we don't have a car. Obviously, neither of us have a license, so why in the world would we have a car? And you need a car to take the road test with the DMV. That is why my husband took the test with the driving school, because they provided the car versus the DMV does not provide the car, which we explained to the DMV. And they basically said there's nothing that they can do. He has to, by law, retake the test with the DMV, which was so frustrating because we already had plans to rent a car. He was going to teach me how to drive, and then I was going to go take my test directly with the DMV. And we had all these plans that just fell through, unfortunately. But we came up with a solution. He's set to take his driver's exam next month, and I swear, if something goes wrong, I am just going to take that as a sign that maybe we're not meant to be on the road, because I strongly believe that everything happens for a reason. And if one more issue arises, then maybe we're just not meant to drive, or at least he's not meant to drive. And then for health and fitness, I am making an appointment with an asthma specialist. I did not do that, so I definitely need to add that to my to-do list. I mean, it's January 29th, so we can probably do that on Monday. I am making an appointment with a primary care doctor. Have not done that. I am making an appointment with a dentist. I did do that, and if you watched my last vlog, then you would know that I am actually starting my Invisalign treatment on February 11th, which I'm super excited about. And then I work out at least 3 times a week, definitely, which I'm surprised I've kept up with that, if I'm being honest. These check marks look like V's, so I think I'm just gonna star it. Yeah, I messed this up. It's fine. Finance, I'm only going to Target once. I actually only went to Target once, which I'm so shocked about. We are only ordering at once. Nope, did not accomplish that at all. I definitely need to start meal prepping, which I actually just this morning ordered a bunch of meal prepping bowls. Well, not a bunch, like 9 bowls. I think I'm going to start meal prepping tomorrow. I honestly blame football for eating out once a week, because the days that we ordered out were mainly on Sundays because of the football game, so we would just order pizza or Chinese food or something quick that we could watch during all the games. But football's coming to an end soon. It came to an end for me because my Bucks are not going to the Super Bowl, so I really have no point in watching it. So there is no reason for us to order out, and I hope that meal prepping will help me not get lazy and will help me not to order food as much as we did this month, because I'm pretty sure we ordered out at least once a week, so 4 times. Not proud of that, but you know what? I'm being honest with you guys. I'm researching one stock to add to my portfolio. I actually did that, and I did add to my stock portfolio, which I'm super happy about, so we can check her off. Sell at least 5 items on Poshmark/Mercari. I unfortunately only sold 2 items this month, but that's okay. I have 2 sponsorships this month. Unfortunately, only had one, so did not accomplish that. I did put down a certain amount that I wanted to make on AdSense, but since the month is not over, I won't know how much I made until February 1st, so I have to leave that blank for now. Social media, I am posting 3 times on Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest every week. Here's the thing. I post a lot, or I post a average amount on my Instagram story, just like day-to-day life things, you know, but posting on my Instagram feed feels like such a chore. I don't really like doing it. I started off January strong. I was posting like 3 times a week, and then I just stopped posting. I don't know why. I definitely need to reevaluate that goal for February. And for TikTok, didn't post at all. I don't think I even posted 1 time on TikTok. I did post quite a bit on Pinterest, so I feel like I did accomplish that goal. I am creating videos that are out of my comfort zone while focusing on the creativity process, not the end result, such as views. Definitely did that this month. I'm collabing with 2 brands, only collabed with 1, so did not accomplish that. I have 6,500 subscribers on YouTube. As of now, I have 6,470 subscribers, so I probably will reach 6,500, but I have to leave it blank for now until the end of the month. And then the last goal that I had was to have 4,500 Pinterest followers, which I actually achieved. Super happy about that. Thank you to anyone who followed me on Pinterest. I also want to use this opportunity to remind you guys that if you didn't accomplish all of your goals for January, it's okay. It's only 1 month out of the year. You have 11 more months to accomplish your goals. I think for me, I was struggling at the beginning of January because I was feeling overwhelmed with the goals that I set for myself. And I had to remind myself that I can't accomplish everything in 1 day or in 1 month. Like, I have to trust the process. So once I reminded myself that, I was able to relax and enjoy the process of going after my goals instead of solely focusing on the end result, which is something that I struggle immensely with. If you didn't accomplish all of your goals, that's okay. February is a fresh start. It's a new chapter. Just take the time to really figure out why you didn't accomplish your goal. Like, if you didn't accomplish your goal the first time around, maybe you have to break it down into a smaller goal. Maybe you have to change your strategy on how you went about to accomplish that goal. Just because you didn't accomplish your goal the first time around doesn't mean that you have to give up your goal entirely. Again, you might just have to break it down or figure out a new strategy to go after that goal. Don't feel discouraged. Like, we can't always accomplish everything in the first round. Sometimes we just have to work a little harder to accomplish our goals, and that's perfectly fine. You guys saw I didn't accomplish all of my goals, and am I going to waste my time and be sad about it? Absolutely not. I'm going to evaluate what I need to change and what I can do better for the month of February. So focus on improving yourself, your strategy, and not on criticizing yourself for not accomplishing all of your goals. That's just my little reminder for everyone. Here are my February goals. I kept the same categories that I had for January, and under personal, I just put I am researching leasing versus buying a car just because we are interested in getting a car this year, but I want to make sure that I know exactly what we're getting ourselves into. I am learning about the home buying process. I am reading 4 books, and I'm learning how to drive. This one, it's very important. And then under finance, I have we are only ordering out twice this month. I dropped it down to 2 because I don't think that we can confidently say that we won't order out at all in February, especially with Valentine's Day and my sister's coming, so I don't know about that. But we did drop it down to just twice this month. We are only going to Target once this month, which I think I can do. I'm selling 3 items on Mercari. I had 5 items as a goal in January, and I dropped it down to 3 since I only sold 2 items this month. And then I have 2 finance goals that have to do with my income for YouTube AdSense and for Pinterest, so I'm just going to keep that private. And then my last finance goal is to have 2 sponsorships. Under health and fitness, I just have I am starting Invisalign on February 11th. I am meal planning every week, and I'm working out at least 3 times a week. I thought about increasing this to 4 times a week, but I honestly think I can only commit to 3 times right now, so I'm keeping it. And if I accomplish this goal in February, then I'll increase it to 4 times a week in March. Under social media, I have that I'm uploading 3 times a week to Pinterest and Instagram, uploading once a week to TikTok. Let's see how that goes. I'm completing all of Pinterest campaigns, which, if you don't know, Pinterest is actually paying content creators now through little campaigns that they have every month. So I'm going to try to complete all of them in February. I have 7,000 subscribers on YouTube for the month of February. I also put down that I have 150,000 channel views on YouTube and that I have 5,000 followers on Pinterest. As you guys know, I like to write all of my goals down in the present tense. Research just shows that you're more likely to accomplish your goals if you write them down in the present tense or as if you've already accomplished them. So I just choose to write down all my goals in the present tense for that reason. And as you guys may know, I also like to type out my goals and just have a Word document on my laptop so I can just easily refer to my goals if I need to. But yeah, those are my February goals. All right, so I have my laptop in front of me. We're going to go over my budget for the month of January. I think I'm going to screen record so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. It's 5:19, the sun is going to set. Hi! I have to be honest, once I closed out this spreadsheet, I didn't go back to it at all for the month of January. Do most people do? I don't know. It's my first time using an Excel spreadsheet as a budgeting plan. I will have to say that I did add a couple new tabs to my budget spreadsheet. So I have January, obviously, but then I added February, March, and April. That way, at the end of 2022, I can go back and see how my budgeting improved throughout the year. I think that will be really interesting to check out at the end of 2022. I'm just going to go in now and enter all of the numbers of how much we actually spent. I haven't entered our income yet on this spreadsheet, and I don't know if I'm going to share our income online. I feel like it's a little too personal for my taste. I mean, but also what's the point of budgeting videos if you're not going to share your income? We'll see how these reset videos go. I don't know. But for now, I'm just going to go into my spreadsheet, enter how much money we actually spent in every category, see how we did, and then I'll catch up with you guys in a minute. I feel like we didn't do all that bad for our budgeting. I thought it was going to be way worse. I do have to say that for the takeout portion, it would have been a lot more, $100 more, but we had a $100 gift card from our apartment complex because we got second place for a Christmas door decoration contest in December, and we literally just used it this month to pay for takeout, which I think that if we didn't have that gift card, we probably wouldn't have ordered out as much as we did. We literally ordered out once a week. Other than that, I feel like the only two categories that we went over was takeout, food for groceries, and then my cell phone bill, which I include on here. I'm trying to think if I want to add anything to this graph. I'm not 100% sure yet. I think for the month of February, I might change a few things on this graph. We shall see. I honestly feel like we didn't do all that bad. Our biggest expense, honestly, is just rent. Our rent is $2,400. That's where, honestly, the majority of our money goes. And I feel like we can really bring down groceries, although everything is going up. Just so frustrating how expensive food is getting. I feel like we definitely could bring down $500, because I feel like $500 a month for two people is a lot. Or is that just me? Maybe that's just really how expensive life has gotten. I'm curious, how much do you guys spend on groceries every month? Do you guys think $500 is a lot for two people? Overall, we didn't do that bad. I honestly thought it would be way worse than what it is. For my February budget, I decided to change some categories to best fit our needs for the month. I also added some notes to remind myself to budget some expenses that will happen toward the end of the month and that I still need to really figure out at a later time. I also added a note to remind myself to meal plan and prep to minimize our eating out expenses. My budgeting definitely needs work, and if anyone has any tips or any advice, I would love for you to leave them in the comments below. Let's help each other out to budget better in 2022. Before I tell you guys the books that I read during January, how cute is this sweatshirt? It also has a little cute saying in the back. I've been living in this sweatshirt and then in these sweatpants this entire month. Like, comfiest fit ever. The first book that I read in January, I actually started reading it back in December, but it was so boring that I read like maybe 3 chapters in the month of December and then put it down. But I didn't want this book to go to waste. So for January, I forced myself to read this book. I reread the chapters I had already read and finally finished the book. It's called On Christmas Avenue. Basically, a small town is struggling financially, so they hire a Christmas consultant from a bigger city. I think it's Virginia, if I remember correctly. This Christmas consultant is basically hired to design and execute a parade that is supposed to take place on Christmas, supposed to bring in revenue to the small town that is struggling. The mayor's son happens to be the sheriff of the town, and the Christmas consultant and him start off on a rocky foot. The sheriff really doesn't like the Christmas consultant. He thinks the role is pointless and it's just going to bankrupt the small town even more than it already is, and they end up falling in love. And that's pretty much the whole book. I love romance novels. I love a good Christmas novel, but this one was just so boring that I struggled to finish it, if I'm being honest. So don't recommend it at all, just saying. But then I actually started reading books on my phone. So I downloaded the Kindle app, and I didn't know that Amazon actually has a bunch of free books that you can read, which is so amazing. I didn't know that. Once I'm done with the series that I'm reading now, I'm probably not going to buy another book this year because of all the free books that Amazon has. And I was like, how come I didn't know about this? I honestly was so against reading books on my phone or on my iPad, but I found that it actually doesn't affect my sleep. I read for an hour before I fall asleep. So I honestly fall asleep and have a better sleep than if I don't read at all, or if I'm just scrolling on my phone and then I fall asleep. I feel like I'm not going to be buying any more physical books, which is huge for me because I used to be so anti-Kindle up until this month, and now I actually just go on my Kindle app and download the books that I want to read, and I don't have to deal with the clutter around my apartment. So I'm really enjoying it so far. The second book that I read was The Vanishing Girls by Lisa Reagan. So this book started my obsession with this series. Basically, the main character, Detective Josie Quinn, has recently been suspended from her police department. At the same time that her suspension takes place, a girl goes missing, and she wants to get back into the force, but her chief is like, no, you're suspended, you have to write out the suspension, we'll take care of it. But she decides to completely disregard her boss, and she ends up going rogue to try to help find this missing girl. While she's going rogue and while she does her own investigation, she finds out that there are so many lies being told within her small town, and she starts discovering corruption in her police department. So she ends up questioning everything and everyone around her. It's a really good thriller. I honestly give it 5 out of 5 stars because I was hooked in every page. I didn't feel bored at all. I think the author has 12 books or 13 books with this character, Josie Quinn. I'm obsessed. Highly recommend this series if you're into like cop, crime, thriller books. And then the next book that I read, again, in the same series, is actually the second book in the series, The Girl with No Name. So for this one, I'm going to be honest, it probably wasn't my favorite. I give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars just because I did feel it was a little bit boring in some parts. It definitely felt like the author was dragging out the plot just a little bit. It follows Detective Quinn again, and she's basically investigating a brutal attack on a pregnant woman, and as she continues to investigate, she realizes that that attack is actually connected to a bunch of murders across the country. So she has to race against the clock to figure out who's committing these killings in order to find out who attacked this pregnant woman and to save a life. But again, I felt like there were a lot of slow parts in this book, so it wasn't my favorite, but I still don't regret reading it, and I still recommend for you guys to check it out. And then the third book that I read is the third book in the series, and I literally, you guys, I read this book in one day. That's how much I love the book. I haven't read a book in one day in such a long time. I think since college probably. I just enjoyed it. It was a really nice rainy day here in Tampa. I actually had really bad cramps, so I stayed in my bedroom all day and I just read. It was great. Loved it. In this book, Detective Quinn is called yet again to investigate the discovery of a buried body. Once they confirm the identity of the body, she finds out that the identity of the person that passed away is the identity that she knew her mom to have. But her mom is still alive, which means that her mom is now a suspect in killing this person whose bones were discovered. And in discovering the truth that her mom had taken someone else's identity, she has to confront her past and figure out who her mother is in reality. I give it a 4.5 out of 5. It has a really good plot. It had a nice twist at the end, but it still wasn't as good as the first one, and I feel like no sequel will be as good as the first one, but it still was a good read, and it was way better than the second one for sure. Now, I'm currently reading the 4th book in the series, which is still not February, but I think I'm going to finish it within the next couple days, so I'm going to put it down as the 4th book that I read this month. It's called Her Final Confession. And the plot of this book is essentially that Detective Quinn again has to investigate the murder of a young student. The young adult was actually murdered in the house of her colleague, who is now on the run. She ends up coming back pretty early on in the book, so it's not a spoiler. It honestly says it in the summary of the book, but her colleague comes back and confesses to the murder. However, Detective Quinn knows her colleague, and she's like, I know you're not capable of murdering someone cold-blooded. So she sets out to prove that her colleague is innocent. I haven't finished it yet, but it's really good. I'm enjoying reading it. It doesn't really have any slow parts, and I like that this book, along with the last book that I read from this series, actually goes back in time. So it goes from talking in the present tense to then having flashbacks, and I really enjoy that. I feel like it keeps me from getting bored of the book. And there's actually 2 crimes that Detective Quinn is investigating in this book, which I also like, because from what I've learned in the previous books that I read within the series is that everything ends up being connected at the end. So it just gets me excited to learn what the connection is. So highly recommend this series if you're into, again, like crime thrillers and suspenseful novels. It's made reading not feel like a chore. I feel like for a period there last year, I felt like reading was becoming a chore. I felt like it was taking my time away from doing other things. But this year, I've learned to really just enjoy a good book. Last year, I felt like I always had to read like self-help books or business books or psych books, versus, at least for the time being, I'm really enjoying reading just fiction books that have to do nothing with real life. And I look forward to curling up in bed every night and reading for an hour or an hour and a half. It's been good. I feel like I've been talking a lot. It's now almost 6 o'clock. The sun is about to set. At the start of every month, I like to create a vision board to save as a wallpaper on all of my electronics. This way, every time I go on my phone or on my laptop, I'm inspired and reminded why I'm working so hard to achieve my goals. I love going on Pinterest to find aesthetic photos that relate to my goals. Once I find a photo that I like, I download it and then add it to my vision board. I said this a million times, but I use PicMonkey to create my wallpapers and my lock screens. I also just really enjoy creating aesthetic wallpapers, which I always save to my Pinterest for anyone who wants to use them. I'll have my Pinterest linked below, and they'll be under the board aesthetic wallpapers in case you want to twin with me this month and have the same wallpaper as me. I would love to know in the comments below one goal that you have for February, and that's pretty much it for my monthly reset routine. I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I hope that at least one person got inspired to crush their goals in the new month. If you enjoyed watching, please don't forget to give a big thumbs up and to subscribe to join my little community here on YouTube, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.